It's a positive film. It has heroes and villains, and that it essentially is a fun movie to watch. It's been a long time since people have been able to go to the movies and see a sort of straightforward, wholesome, fun adventure.
Well, it's a fantasy. It's not science fiction so much as it is space fantasy. And it's about people. It's finally about people and not finally about science.
The story, when you actually put it into words, is only so much nonsense to hang a great visual experience onto. It's the stuff that fairy tales are made of.
Sort of boiling down religion into a very basic concept. The fact that there is some deity or some power or some force that sort of controls our destiny works for good and also works for evil.
Marvellous, healthy innocence. Great pace, wonderful to look at, full of guts, nothing unpleasant. I mean, people go bang bang and people fall over and are dead, but, no horrors. A sort of wonderful freshness about it, kind of like a wonderful fresh air.
It's got whatever you want it to be. It's pure entertainment. It's like a roller coaster ride, and it can be interpreted as long as you enjoy it, which is the intention.
Hello, welcome back to another edition of Generation Skywalker. This is our guide to Celebration Europe 2023. Exciting times coming. We're recording this on the 15th of March, and about 3 weeks' time, we will all be heading off to London.
This is your celebration.
So who is joining me tonight? Well, I've got a full house. I've got Craig Spivey. Good evening, Craig.
Good evening.
We've got Peter Lee. Good evening, Pete.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good. We've got Jezebel. Good evening, Jez.
Good evening. How are you?
Very well, thank you. And we've got Dan Burgess. Dan, hello.
Hello there.
Well, we are here tonight to do our guide for Celebration Europe. So we're going to be breaking down Celebration Europe a little bit. We're going to look at the panels. We're going to look at the art. We're going to look at some of the evening entertainment available, some of the booths that we know about at the present time, and any other little announcements. Look at the guests, just what we recommend from our experiences of celebrations and what to keep an eye out for. So, Celebration on home turf. It's back in London for the first time in 7 years. 2016 was the last. Craig, how excited are you to have it on your soil? Oh, coming home.
I'm very excited. I get excited for all the celebrations, but it just makes things a little bit easier from a logistics point of view when it is in your country. Things like organising events and cosplay and all that kind of stuff. You don't have to kind of navigate the travel. But yeah, I'm really excited. I've got lots of things planned, which we're going to talk about tonight. Meetups with people, got people coming over from the States and hanging out with us before we go down there. Lots of stuff arranged already. So yeah, I'm stoked.
You're cosplaying?
I'm not cosplaying, but Kimberly is.
Oh, what's she cosplaying? I mean, I know all the other bits you're doing that are coming up in this show, but what's she cosplaying as?
Well, listen, I might drag her on later because I'm going to talk about some stuff that we're doing. So I'll let her reveal it. It's not my place to.
Just before we continue, okay, Dan, Jez, Pete. I know Dan and Jez definitely know Kimberly. Pete, I'm sure you've seen her. I'm not sure if you've met her or not. What we're all guessing that she's cosplaying as, okay? All one guess, which I'll write down now, and then we'll see if we got it right later. So, Dan?
X-Wing pilot.
X-Wing pilot.
She loves a bit of Battlefront.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
Jez?
That is a great shout. I think we've already got a winner there. I think Kimberly would also make a really decent Mandalorian, and I think that would be cool. I think, yeah, Mandalorian second to the X-Wing pilot.
Interesting.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Pete, what are you going with?
I'm not sure. Having not met Kimberly, it's quite tricky. But let's go with Leia Bearskin as a random one.
Oh, she likes a beer though, so you know.
Do you think she's going as wooer?
I didn't say that. You said that.
I'll put /wooer next to your Mandalorian.
I was thinking Kanata. You were the one who brought wooer into it.
I think she's going to go as a Twi'lek.
I knew you were going to say that.
interesting.
Yeah. If she's not a Twi'lek, I think she'll just be a Jedi, and she will wear Craig's robes from when he was Luke. Would be my backup. We will see.
We will see.
I really hope she just goes like with an R2D2 head or something now. Right. Okay. Pete, excited to have it on your home turf? I know you're a bit like Craig. You go to nearly all of the celebrations.
I have, yeah. I think I've been to the last two American ones. So yeah, it's good to be coming back to London. The 116 I did, I'd only been sort of back into it a couple of years then, so I didn't really know that many people. But obviously this time round, I'm going to know a few more people. I think that's one of the first things that come to it. It was the best one I've done, I think, was Chicago, and that was so good because there were so many people there. It was just all about the people who were there and just having a laugh with mates, and then you had the whole Star Wars thing as a backdrop to that. And I can see this sort of being similar to that. So yeah, bring it on.
Yeah, I'm hoping to make some friends this time. Jez, excited?
Mate, I couldn't be more excited. I'm really, really looking forward to this. I think for those people who are going, yeah, it's just we all really, really deserve it. And it's just something for us to look forward to. And yeah, it's I'm really looking forward to being at sort of my spiritual home and taking a lot of personal benefits from this. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's going to make me feel good, I know.
And Dan, I know you're missing it because of your bunions. You were at Celebration Europe 2016. What were your standout moments and memories from that?
I'd been to Celebration in 2007, and that was just me flying solo, really. I didn't know anyone. There wasn't any forums or anything like that was on. But 2016 was the first kind of big proper celebration I'd been to, and I'd seen a few the American ones the year before, and it was so much more like that. Overriding memory of it was first getting there and going, because I know this one's different in terms of how you get tickets for panels, but the one in 2016, you had to be there at like 6 o'clock in the morning, go and queue up, get your wristbands for the panels and bits and pieces that you wanted. So I got there at like 6 in the morning, parked up in the hotel where I was staying, walked across to the XL, walked into the room where they were giving out the wristbands, and just started bumping into people I know. And that's such a good feeling that you're in that crowded place with so many people at that time in the morning, and the first two faces you see I think it was Ben and I think it was Rob Marsh actually. Just walked in, "Oh, Dan, how you doing?" Got my wristbands, and I went back out on the steps out the front of the XL and sat on the steps and had a smoke, and we're just watching all the cosplayers come in, and it was just so exciting, and it was a great show. One thing I do remember that I think the day one was the Rogue One panel, so I managed to get my wristband for that, and I was sitting out on these steps, and everyone was piling. I thought, you know what, I'm going to let the masses heave their way in, and then I'm just going to take a leisurely stroll in. So I was sitting on the steps. Most people had gone in, and there was this one guy. He must have been in his 50s, and he was on his mobile phone, and he was going mad. And I was kind of half listening to the phone call. He's going, "Yeah, all these nerds, they've got here at 6 in the morning. The Rogue One panel show sold out. It's the only thing I wanted to go to. I get here at 9 o'clock in the morning and they've all gone." Kind of covering my arm up to make sure he didn't see my wristband. But yeah, he was raging. I hope he enjoyed the rest of his celebration, though.
Quite offensive. I hope he had an absolute rotten time, actually, if he's talking about people like that. I mean, calling names and stuff just because he hasn't got what he wants. I think he sounds like an absolute... Craig, 2016. That was your year of being Luke on the Irish thing, wasn't it?
It was. That was where I met them.
Couldn't think of the name of the place.
Skellig Michael, the Irish Tourist Board they were plugging that part of Ireland as a destination to fans because it was all new and exciting and appeared at the end of The Force Awakens. So yeah, that was great. I mean, that was the first time I went as old Luke, and it was great. You know, it was just a lot of fun, and I think at the time there was a lot of hype for the movies that, you know, Luke was a character that had a lot of focus on. So, you know, I'm a shy and retiring type, but I quite enjoyed the attention that I got that weekend. It's quite good fun. Yeah, the Rogue One thing stands out. It was kind of, they had all the costumes on display. That was kind of a key thing for that weekend. And that was also the year that Grant and Mark and myself did the Helix panel, collecting track. So yeah, it was a busy one for me, 2016.
Nice. Jez, many memories from that?
Yeah, the collecting track was really, really great, and it just so happened to be right opposite the booth which we had when we were on the Vintage Rebellion podcast. So that was lots of fun by day and by night. I was also on a military panel, Star Wars in the military panel with Jack McKenzie. So that was nice to do as well. And we did a little podcast stage as part of TVR. So yeah, it was all good. And I had my wife and kids there on one of the days as well. They came along and had their first celebration experience. So every celebration is different. Everyone I've been to so far, they've all been different. You know, we've had sort of different involvements doing different things. It was really, really good. You can't put your finger on it. It's just, I don't know, it's just feeling. It's just, yeah, it was a lovely experience all around thing. Nothing negative. Everything was just positive. Even if you didn't get to see what you wanted to see, there were so many other things to fill that void. It was great.
Without going into the panels and things, just go around all of us then. What is the best way to get the most out of a celebration? What is your top tip? We'll go with you, Pete.
I think what I've found, you've got to get in the first hour or so, you've got to get in and just soak it all up and just have a look around, get your bearings, because it is quite disorientating when you first walk in, especially if you don't know the place. When going into some of the American ones, you just like, what's where? And you're one of those panels you want to get to, but you don't know where the collecting track is. So it's kind of getting your bearings, but not being too precise with it. You want to sort of soak it all in and enjoy that initial kind of hour or so when you're just sort of checking everything out. So I think just planning, just getting your head around what you want to do before you get there, so you don't have that sort of panic in the first couple of hours. So just have a good think what panels you want to do and where they're on and the timings. Just trying to work all that out.
Good advice, Pete. I like that one. Let's see if the others can match it. Dan?
Don't let yourself get stressed out by it all. The thing with panels and lotteries and all of that. Whatever happens, whatever you get or you don't get, you'll still have a really good time. So yeah, don't get yourself worked up and anxious about panels. You'll be able to watch them on YouTube for any you don't get into anyways.
That is true. They are all being broadcast this time out, aren't they? Yet again. Jez?
Yeah, I've got a tip, but I've also got a rule as well. So I think one of the first things, and you see signs everywhere, we'll come onto it, cosplay's not consent. For people who are going there for the first time, there's going to be people walking around in various different costumes. Some of them might actually be quite fragile. So keep your hands off and don't be sort of patting them on the back going, oh, that's amazing. It's just about being a human being, isn't it? And about being polite and respectful. But, there may well be some people who are dressed, be it male, female, who knows what, with regards to being scantily clad or wearing particular things because they've got a certain character in mind that they want to cosplay as. That doesn't mean to say that you can get close to them and touch them and this and the other. So there's a whole big thing there, and they've obviously got that because some people haven't been abiding by that. So it's not a tip, it's a rule. They wouldn't be saying this unless they needed to. So I would say that's kind of an important one, really. We don't want anyone doing anything wrong. But from a tips point of view, I'd probably say talk to people, talk to strangers with regards to finding out a different point of view, because you might go there thinking, I'm going to go and watch this, this and this, because as you've scanned the list of panels and things to see, your eyes might have just completely glazed over something in particular, and it'll only be by chatting to someone else who'll say, oh yeah, I'm going to watch this panel because of this and for this reason and that. And there's quite a bit of repetition in some respects, that some of the collecting tracks panels we've seen before. Some of them have they're the same one that has been done before because of different audience and this and the other. But don't go and watch the same one. Just go and watch something different. And have your horizons broadened slightly by maybe talking to strangers and enhancing your experience that way. But don't go touching up Twi'leks.
Craig, any advice?
Well, I had most of those things down myself in one shape or other. So I can echo a lot of what everyone has said already. I think, for me and to the point Jez made, open yourself up to it. It's good to have a plan. It's good to sort of pick maybe one or two things you definitely want to hit every day, but, go with the flow. Wander into things you wouldn't normally do and just explore, meet people. Don't be shy. Dress up, make it an experience, and hydrate.
Okay, good advice from everyone there.
It's a celebration.
We said we were going to go through different areas of celebration. We're going to start that with the Star Wars Celebration art show, where you may have seen it at the moment. It is currently open, darkinkart.com. You can pre-order any of the prints that have been announced. I think each of them has got 250 pieces. 200 were available for pre-order and 50 will be for sale on a first-come, first-served basis. Dan, I think they normally call it like Artist Alley or something, don't they, at Celebration?
That's it, yeah.
If you do miss the pre-order slot and there is something you desperately want, head there first thing Friday and get yourself involved. But there has been some announced. Let me just have a quick check. 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, 22 pieces of art are in this show then, boys. What has grabbed you? What stood out?
You'll know, and the lads know, that I'm a massive Malcolm Tween fan. I have all of Malcolm Tween's work so far. So this one will be the 11th, which is Extraction Team Bravo. That one, yeah, I know I'm going to get. I haven't ordered yet, but it's Extraction Team Bravo. It's a Rogue One scene, and actually, the more I look at that, the more I like it, and it just does fit with everything else. However, there is someone else on the scene now. There are a few of these. They're definitely growers, but what I do like is we have a visitor by Jason Kreisman, who and this is where I really look forward to listening to how Craig describes these things as well, from the use of light and the styles in which these things are done. I'm just a complete layman and look at that and say, oh, that's pretty. I like the way the light, shines off of that, or I like the story he's telling, because he has an image, and in that image is a story over time, because it's not one snapshot. You see several things happening, like the key elements here. And what we have here is we have a visitor, which is that line spoken at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, where they talk about an Imperial probe near Echo Base. And what you see in this image, which is slightly smaller than Kreisman's normal sort of previous Celebration ones, is you see taking a good proportion of this, probably about a quarter to a third of the screen, is the probe droids, instantly recognizable. Such a classic droid, isn't it? Such a brilliant one. But with the lights shining straight forward, and then a laser coming off of that, silhouetted against backdrop of sort of really rugged Norwegian terrain of Hoth. You've got a speeder bike going from port to starboard, left to right, just in the middle of the frame below the laser. And then in the background, you've got a probe droid firing down as if it's going down towards Hoth. And then you've got the sun bursting in through the left-hand side. Again, standard, not done it justice. But what it's shown us, so many different layers of not many colours. It's just mainly blues and lights, but it's just the light, the way in which I see that. I know I'll be able to get that framed really nicely. It's a classic image, which is just one of those, it doesn't scream Star Wars, but it's, if you know type thing. The Kreisman one is really great. So for me, it's Kreisman and Tween.
It's a good choice, that, Jez. That is the only one I've actually pre-ordered. I will put my hands up.
I've ordered that one. Yeah.
Have you ordered any? You've ordered Tween as well, have you?
So I've ordered Kreisman. I've said to Tween that I'll see him on the Thursday. So yeah, I've got a Tween coming from him, and I've got the Kreisman on order.
Nice. Dan, anything doing it for you here? I'm happy to pick anything up for you. I did notice. So we've just said there's 22. 8 of them contain Ahsoka. Very much. I thought there'd be more like Grogu and stuff in there, but no, Ahsoka is definitely the choice here.
There's nothing for me, Stu.
Okay, I was quite surprised that there was only 2 Return of the Jedi's actually, being the anniversary. You've got that Twilight on Endor and the Fate of the Galaxy, which is the action figures, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really keen to know what Craig thinks. Actually.
Yeah, I left Craig to last to be able to take us through here and give us. I quite like Protectors actually. Before we go on as well, I like the whole idea of a little kid pretending to be Mando, but looking at him holding his dog as as he's holding Grogu. That resonates as a
and that's a proper lovely dog, isn't it? That's like an Andrex puppy. Yeah, really. I want that just for the dog.
Yeah, and I think that connects to all of us. So we all still collect toys and things, and still got that nostalgia and that kind of thing in our head. I know Jez, every time he puts on his running stormtrooper costume, he actually feels like he is running around the Death Star trying to shoot Chewie and Han. Because sometimes you'll be standing next to him when he's running, and he'll suddenly just go, "There they are! Oh, set your leaders to the start." I think that's Star Trek. I don't think it is, but and all this kind of business. But yeah, so Craig, take me through this art display.
I mean, I think anyone who's into Star Wars and is on social media is subject to a constant stream of Star Wars art daily. There's some amazing fan art out there. There's some amazing stuff that's done legit under licenses. I look at this stuff. Is it representative of the immense talent and creativity that's inspired by the franchise? And I don't think it is. It's representative of the people who've applied to have art in the show, and that Lucasfilm, Disney have signed off that kind of tick some of their boxes. As a spread of work, I wasn't blown away by it by any stretch. I've seen much nicer action figure photography, for instance. There's one in there of some action figure photography that's it's okay. I want this stuff to be the best of the best, because it is connected to Celebration. I don't know whether that's a bit harsh. I mean, I've not ever purchased anything from the art show. I think the bits that we focused on as highlights absolutely are. I think the Christman piece with the Probot is lovely. I've seen things like that before, but that's a really nice example. I think the Protectors thing is very reminiscent. There's an artist called Craig Davis, I think, who does a whole series of these things, this kind of childhood imagination, which is, for me, nicer in its execution. This is a sort of like the one that says a little bit kind of, I don't know, it's almost like a Norman Rockwell kind of interpretation. Concept's lovely. I've seen it done nicer, if I'm being honest. I think the tween image this year is very Macquarie, and that is an absolute compliment. It looks like something that could have been in the portfolio. You know, the format, composition, the colours, the way that kind of glow highlights the figures. I think that's a really nice piece. But overall, I have to echo a lot of the sentiment, which is just a little bit underwhelming, really. But I'm sure it'll sell very well. You know, people who like Ahsoka clearly have the wall space, because that's another thing that I don't have.
I was going to say, another tip is that I've found is if you wait until the last day, unless there's a piece that you really want, they do start reducing the price on some of these if they're not selling.
That is a great tip. Can I ask all of you, and maybe Craig in particular, the My Only Hope? That was the other one which kind of stands out to me. I don't know. It's just something like that. I think it's because of the iconic Leia and R2 thing. And then the sort of tender moment, which I really found lovely at the end of Kenobi between young Vivian and Ewan. Between Obi-Wan and Leia, rather. I don't know if it's just the symmetry or the way in which that's put together. Craig, what are your thoughts on that one, the My Only Hope, the Trisha Benson one?
I love that scene with Leia and R2. No, it's nice. It's a nice concept. It's quite expressionistic, isn't it? It's quite loose in its style. I don't dislike it. Obi-Wan looks a little bit weird from an anatomical perspective. He looks like a Jawa, but again, maybe that's the rendering.
Yeah.
I need to zoom in on the dark ink. It's a nice concept. It's not something I would put on my wall, but I can see its appeal.
Price-wise, I thought some of these were actually all right. I was expecting them to be a bit higher, bearing in mind that everything seems to have gone up so much. The cost of tickets and everything has gone up a lot. But I think price-wise, some of these are not too bad. What is telling is at this stage of recording, I can't see any which are sold out yet. And that is normally not the case. There's normally at least one or two or three which by now, even though it's only been a week or so that they've been out, they're gone. Because let's face it, how many thousands of people are going to be there? And if there are some really wonderful standout pieces, I know that the Cantina Christman one, which I think was Chicago's, that sold out within a matter of a day or so.
Yeah, because considering we're already 5, it's only available for 10 days on pre-order. We're halfway through that at this point. Yeah, good point. I mean, the most expensive one, I believe, is $70, and the cheapest is $40, which actually, Pete, is your Tales of the Jedi. Nice little price.
And that's pretty good value, isn't it, for a print, if you like it?
Well, if you think about it, it's the experience of meeting the artist, thanking the artist, getting the artist sign it. When you think about how, I know that the whole celebrity meetup is completely different, but I like that experience of when I, like someone's art enough to buy it and get them to sign it, and I've got a unique number on it. And so I think for $40, the experience of going there and getting it and coming away with something, that's good. Good value. Happy with that.
One of the big things at any celebration is the panels. If you're there, if this is your first celebration, seriously, go and get yourself involved in panels. There's so much. I mean, it covers all aspects. I mean, I think there's even been, like, at one celebration, there was carvings out of potatoes for Star Wars and all this kind of stuff. So there is lots of there. So we're going to have a little delve here now. Craig, I'm coming to you first because we are going to go through the different stages and whatnot and what is on. But you're actually involved in 2 separate panels, one on the university stage and the other on the collecting track. So what can you tell us about them, and can you let us know when it is?
I'll start with the collecting track. So yeah, there's 2 panels I've been accepted for, which is lovely. First one is Familiar Ground. It's at the collecting track panel, the collector's stage on the Sunday, the 9th, and it's on between 12 and 1. So it's quite a good slot, and it is entitled Light, Camera, Action Transfers, Letraset, Presto Magics, and more. And it's going to be hosted by myself, Mark Daniels, and Grant Criddle, who previously presented the Helix panel in 2016. And we're going to be looking at the analog pleasures of rubbing down transfers onto pre-printed backgrounds. So it's slightly nostalgic because this is a pastime. This is an activity that people of a certain age will remember fondly, because when Star Wars first came out, we didn't have videos we could watch. We didn't have computer games. We had comics and we had soundtracks and we had things like this, which allowed us to immerse ourselves back into those scenes from that movie. So a lot of nostalgia, but also a lot of great art. Like a lot of the things I'm into, this was created in an era where there was a bit of free reign to interpret the characters, the backgrounds, the ships, in ways that kind of were quite unique. And when you look back at that stuff now, it's got a real charm and a quality to it. So, part of it is some historical context, but this is geared to collectors, so it's very, very comprehensive. We've really looked at what was produced for these ranges, not only for Letraset but Presto Magics in the United States, and also other licenses across the globe. But we're going to have some things in there that have never been seen before. We've uncovered some great stuff. We've uncovered a little mystery that we don't have an answer for, which is interesting. But yeah, we're going to have a few kind of surprises for people in the room, some giveaways, a little bit of interactivity, put a lot of work into it, a lot of slides, very visual, very colourful. Hopefully, if you're going to come along to that, you'll get something out of it.
Sounds brilliant. And knowing how hard you work on these things, I can guarantee to everybody this one will be smashed. On the collector's track, there's 20 different things there. This is the one.
I recognise it's one of the more niche panels, but not as niche as the other one I'm doing.
We'll get onto that in a minute, Craig. Sorry, Jez, you wanted to ask something?
I was just going to say, yeah, but people haven't seen this before. I think it's brilliant. I love the name, Lights, Camera, Action Transfers. When the penny dropped, when you must have come up with that, you must have been like, yes, like a complete eureka moment. Because I think that's great. Definitely people should be going to that. And it's nice to have that all gang back together again, isn't it? It feels warm and familiar.
You think we'll get a range of 50th anniversary Letraset off the back of this one?
I'll go on record as saying probably not. Let's not set our sights too high. I think that last time was a one-off, but it's nice to draw some attention to this, put a spotlight on it. And yeah, my advice, if you listen to this, go get on eBay, buy it now, because the price will go up after Easter weekend.
Craig, can I ask you a question to do with Letraset?
Yeah.
Because this is nothing to do with Celebration, but you're quite a perfectionist. You'd agree with that, wouldn't you? I mean, everything you do for Generation Skywalker, you're a perfectionist. You like it to be right. When you buy these Letraset sets that have been done, does it really irritate you, like when there's a stormtrooper flying in space and stuff, upside down on his head?
Well, as you kind of are intimating, 7-year-old Craig was very fastidious about his perspective and making sure that his blaster bolts lined up with the guns that were firing them. I have bought completed sets since, and there's a real joy in some of them. I mean, we've used a few. We've put a little video together. There's a set of 3 that I've got that I just, well, it looks like you might have done it, Stu. You've got people being tiny little stormtroopers being skewered on lightsabers, and it's just, there's so much joy in it. You just think, oh, they've had a good time putting that together. So, I'm open to the very precise ones, but I also love the ones where people have exercised a little bit of artistic license.
Excellent. Right then, Craig. So we did mention the university stage, and this is the fun bit. So you're on the collecting track between 12 and 1, I believe.
Yeah.
And then you've got to get to the university stage for another panel at 2. 4 days. Let's get you both your panels into a 3-hour period.
I will be bringing some Bruce Springsteen on stage energy for 4 hours, or however long I have to stay awake. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but I'm hoping that the adrenaline will just keep me going.
So tell us about the other one.
So the other one, this is this is new to me. This is the university stage, and it's rather than being more of a curated collector's guide, we're telling more of a story about the social history of Star Wars in the UK as told through Look-In magazine. So anyone who follows the show might have come across the blog, which is still a bit of a work in progress. There's still things to add there, but I started just cataloguing all the Star Wars mentions in Look-In. I mean, Look-In, for those who don't know, was a sister publication to the TV Times. It carried TV listings geared at children for the different ITV regions, but because it was attached to a commercial station, it featured a lot of those big glossy American shows, the big movies of the time, sports. So Star Wars was ideal for the pages of Look-In. And one of the things most people will know about it is the painted covers by Arnaldo Puzzo, who was a Italian film poster artist working in London. He was a jobbing illustrator. He would turn these cover images around for the magazine very quickly. But he was famous for things like the Get Carter poster. He did a lot of the Carry On film. So the covers are very striking. They're very colourful. They're very energetic likenesses of the characters. And I think most people would kind of recognise those. What does get missed is a lot of the stuff inside the magazine. So there are some great examples of how Star Wars sort of grew from this American blockbuster that people were kind of, interested in and got a big splash, how that became part of our, life as kids in the UK in the 70s. So we'll be looking at some things like, kids were sending in, get this, there's an example of a hand-whittled R2-D2, it's carved from wood. Somebody, wanted to make this R2-D2, show it off by sending it into this magazine. And it spawns a whole series of these handcrafted characters, ships, dioramas, and they all get like a little paragraph and a little blurry photograph. And it's just nice to sit and collate those together and say, look, this is the journey that we went on with Star Wars. I mean, great examples of a school who painted a Star Wars mural in its playground. There's recipes for Star Wars burgers, fanzines, pen pal, and requests for pen pals, hates punks and cruelty to animals like Star Wars and ABBA, all that kind of stuff. So it's really contextual into that era. And I'm going to be doing it with a friend of the show, Darren Heyman, who this stuff really sparked his imagination and his memories of things. So we're going to do it as a double hander. He's going to interview me and we're going to explore this social history. So it's not going to be, this is the issue that was released in March 1979 and this is the one that was released in April 19. It's not that. It's a lot more about the stories that it tells and what we can learn about Star Wars looking back.
Excellent. And that is University Stage, 2:00.
2:00 on Sunday, University Stage.
Excellent. We will put, as we get closer to Celebration, make sure you're checking out our We Are Generation Skywalker page. We will put links, we'll put links to everything we're interested in, but we'll definitely put links to things like Craig's panel and then like a reminder on the Sunday morning and whatnot. So you can go and find where he is, I'm going to say performing, because he might just get his juggling balls out, because I've seen him juggle with them before. Yep. You never know. Right then, so let's take a look at some of the panels. So first of all, let's go to the main panels, the Celebration panels on the Celebration stage. I think there's only like 8 or 9. I'm just going to rattle these off. I know we weren't going to do that generally, but just in this thing. So on the Friday, you have got the Lucasfilm Studio Showcase, normally the opening of Celebration, normally bring a few guests out on that. That is 11 till 12:30. And also on Friday, you have got the making of Andor Season 1. On Saturday, you have got Ahsoka. That is definitely a lottery. You've got 40 years of Return of the Jedi. Interestingly, so far they've named guests Ming-Na Wen. Now, she is Fennec Shand, isn't she?
Yeah.
So I was kind of interested to see what her connection to Return of the Jedi is and why she is on that panel. We will find that out. You've also got Creature Cantina on the Saturday. That is Neil Scanlon's Little Beast. And then on the Sunday, Villains of the Sequel Trilogy. That is another one that is through the lottery. A look back at Obi-Wan Kenobi, which should be quite good. I know that the guests so far announced on there, Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, Indira Varma, Vivian Lyra Blair, and Deborah Chow. So some great names on that panel. Also on Sunday, Disney Parks, where Star Wars comes to life. And then on the Monday, you've got Star Wars The Bad Batch, which is another one for the lottery, and the Visions Volume 2, and then, of course, the closing ceremony. Quite a host of stuff. What is everyone, if you could just go to one, what are we all picking here? Pete, what's your standout there?
Probably the opening one. That's normally the big one, isn't it? I think that's normally the announcements, and the fact that sort of Lucasfilm Studio that'll be across the board, so that'll be everything. I think you'll get a lot of the new announcements that are rumoured to be coming. Whether we'll get them or not, who knows? But I think you'll get a good sort of overview of what Lucasfilm as a company are doing, and you'll get a snippet of anything they want to show you at that stage. I imagine they'll show a lot of Ahsoka footage. I imagine there'll be a proper trailer for that. More Indiana Jones. I know they brought Indiana Jones into it in LA, into that sort of initial Lucasfilm announcement. So if you're going to choose one, that would be the one you want to see. But I think the Kenobi one is really interesting as well. I think they've got the leads all there, and whether they're going to make an announcement about a season 2 of that, who knows?
I really hope not for a second season of that. I think if you have too much Vader and Kenobi now, it will start to affect what we know from A New Hope. But
yeah, I think it was rumoured, was it Variety? It's an easy rumour though, isn't it? It's an easy sort of conclusion to come to when you see that as a panel and just say, well, because it's obviously after the event.
It is actually stated a look back at Obi-Wan Kenobi. So yeah, you're picking the opening one. I do think the Jedi one. You don't know who's going to come out on that Jedi anniversary. I think that will be quite that's not on the lottery, the 40 years of Return of the Jedi either. Get in those queues, people.
Is that on the Monday, that one?
That's on the Saturday, 2 till 3.
It is. Yeah, I suppose the only trouble with that, I mean, it's like when we went to the Phantom Menace one in Chicago. Generally, it's the stars that are there signing. And looking at their signing, it's going to be, Billy D and...
There's a lot of Jabba's goons, isn't there?
A lot of Jabba's goons. I think you're going to get that. I can't imagine Harrison Ford or Mark Hamill are going to fly in for it.
I was thinking the Return of the Jedi one, but then I remember I was really excited for the 20th anniversary of the Phantom Menace at Chicago, and it was just a bit disappointing in the end. We were all on the hype train for it, and everyone was up for it thinking, this is going to be amazing. And it was just hosted by Anthony Daniels, and it was just like, oh, they're bringing out Anthony Daniels again, and it was like he does so much. And I think the general consensus was, that could have been better. So I wouldn't want to put all my eggs in the basket for Return of a Jedi one, thinking, it's going to be amazing. I did look at that initially, thinking, yeah, I'm up for that. I mean, what have I looked at? Yeah, they're really, as you'd expect, they're really pushing all of their new content, aren't they? It's so much a look forward rather than a look back. It seems to be more of a, rather than a celebration of things past, it's pushing forward, trying to promote the Disney park, the hotel and all that lot, trying to push various different other things. I always liked the opening ceremony, and I always liked the closing, because with the closing ceremony you get to see the compilation of all the best bits of Celebration. So even though you didn't get to see it with your own eyes there, you're like, oh that looks cool, and I actually, and it wasn't because it was over, it was just like I missed that. Oh, wow, that looks good. So I think the closing ceremony, there is a lot to be said for the closing ceremony. They do a good job.
The making of Andor might be quite interesting, because it's saying that it's Tony Gilroy and Diego Luna are recounting that. So I don't know whether they'll be there or it'll be by video, but it'd be great if they are there, because that is a brilliant series. It was all on, on location kind of.
Well, I think they're filming the second series at the minute, so there's every chance they'll be in the UK anyway.
Yeah. What about you, Craig? Anything standing out for you there? Obviously, you can't go to the look back at Obi-Wan Kenobi, because at that point you'll be running kind of a gentle jog between the collector's track and the university stage.
Well, it's all about Visions Volume 2, isn't it? That's the big ticket.
They've certainly named a lot of people for that, haven't they? That's a massive line already. Paul Young. I'm sure it's not Paul Young as in Love of the Common People, but I'm hoping it is. Maybe.
No, I think the hype, that moment on that first morning with the Lucasfilm showcase. That's the kind of big thing, isn't it? That's what everyone gets kind of jazzed about. But we'll know all that news as soon as it's happened, whether you're in the room or not. These big panels, they're great. They're very good. Even if you're in a streaming room, they're very good at sort of bringing the energy and just hyping you up and giving you all the feels. Whatever you end up in, you're going to have a good time. I think the Ahsoka panel is going to be much talked about. I think there's a lot of excitement for that. We're going to get some reveals. I think we'll get some talent on stage for that one as well. But I'm not going to be dictated by these times and these panels. If I'm around and I'm free, I'll try and get in one. I mean, I've applied for the lotteries, so we'll see what happens with that. But the big panels are great. If you can make one, then do so, because it's an experience.
Right then, let's move on then to the collecting track. We're all collectors, and the collecting track is obviously of interest to us. So there's 5 panels a day. making up 20 over the course of the thing. First of all, there's always giveaways. Star Tots in America. I see people moaning, oh, why isn't it Star Tots? It wasn't Star Tots in London. That is for their American shows. So let's get that. This year, it's medallions, isn't it?
It's been medallions. All of the UK ones. 2007 was medallions as well.
Yeah, so these are more like a coin with different characters on, aren't they? And
they're a lot more like the ones from 2007. So in 2007, they did it with all different logos from all various European countries. So it said Star Wars in Polish, Star Wars in Hungarian, with a character on it, and they're very much like that. But these ones are like what Return of the Jedi, I think, is the theme.
Can I just figure something out a second? So people are getting upset because they're going to watch a really well researched, a really well sort of put together presentation, and at the end of that presentation, which people have put their time and effort into, they're going to get at no additional cost to themselves a free exclusive giveaway, which again someone's put a lot of time and effort in, and people are having a moan because it's not in the shape of a startup. Right. If that's you, have a little think about your issues, all right? Because you've got them, and it's great. And people really need to grow up, because if they are getting upset because it's a coin, not a startup, have a word with yourself.
Well said.
But we've spoken about that in the past, though, Jez. We've gone to these panels in the past, and there are people in those rooms who have got no interest in what's being discussed. They are there for the freebie,
and they've got their family with them.
We've seen it, and they all bring their children in, so they can sell these things, and they can, whether you say that or not, there's people who have got a very different outlook on things, and basically knobheads.
Financially, that makes no sense. So you're going to spend a lot of money on a ticket for you and your family, so that's lots of tickets, and then you've got the travel, the car parking, the food, and everything else. By the time you've got a startup and then flipped it on eBay for 12 quid or 15 quid, it's the special one, 20 quid, right? Have a word. You've just lost your weekend. Bellwhackers. It's just, it just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, we know people that have been incensed and tried to get as many as they can, or all of the set, and that's what they do for their celebration. Now, we digress. Let's get back to the collecting track. So let's go through day by day. I'll give you the 5 topics. We don't need to go into what each of them are about, and then I'll pick 2 of you to choose what you would choose that day. Okay. If you're not picked and there's something on there you really want to mention, keep it to yourself. So Friday the 7th of April, it starts off with a collector's social. And then you've got well-dressed collectors collecting through costuming and cosplay. Then you've got Best of British, eccentric vintage collectibles from Blighty. That is the Vintage Rebellion crew all doing that. So well done, boys, for getting on there. And that should be quite an interesting concept. We'll get onto that one in a minute. The Art of Star Wars posters, waiting by the mailbox, collecting mail-away promotions. And then closing the first day, the history of Kenner's rocket firing Boba Fett. Jim Swearinger is in the UK for that one. Craig, looking at that list, what strikes you on the first day? What if you had to go to one? Where would you be heading?
That's hard, because I would instinctively go for Best of British, or maybe posters, because that's something that I feel like there are some gaps in my knowledge, and the panelists on there are probably the best you're going to get in terms of posters. So I think I might learn something if I go to that one.
You're going with the posters. Pete, if you were choosing something on that opening day?
Probably obvious, but I think the Rocket Fett one would be a great choice. I think they did it in LA, and it was fascinating. It just, even though you think you know about this thing, there's so much you don't know. And to have Chris G and certainly have Jim Swearinger in the house in London. I think it's his first trip to London, isn't it? To go through it, you can choose any 2 better people to take you through the history of that, and it's such an iconic piece as collectors, and just to hear them talking about it, who made all the discoveries and have owned these pieces and sort of had them through their hands. I think the one in LA was Chris and Brian Radfell, who obviously knows a lot about these things as well, but two key speakers talking about one of the sort of cornerstones of the hobby. I think that would be mine.
I would probably go to the Best of British. I think it's great that there is a team of 5 there that are heavily Brits, and will be fun to see those boys having a go. But interesting opening day. Right, so we head on to Saturday, and they have the collectors trading event at the stage between 10 and 11, where you can go and swap your swag. We'll get on to swag in a minute. But the rest of the day, Lego Star Wars, always on the agenda. James Burns, always on the agenda. Go on, Burnsy. You've then got how the Star Wars collecting phenomenon began. Again, Jim Swearinger is on that one. Action figure toys marketed in Europe, Meccano and Palitoy, during the original trilogy 78 to 86. Star Wars coins and medallions. And then collecting beyond juguettes. with Javier Florencio, who is a wealth of knowledge, and I've bought some really quirky things off him that were only available in Spain before. So there's one that I would like. But Dan, if you were going to choose one of those to go to, where you heading?
Jim Swearingen.
The How the Star Wars Collecting phenomenon began.
I think so, yeah. I think, well, I've seen him before. I saw him at a show at Chicago. He done a panel, but he's always, he's there. He was there making the stuff from day one. So I want to hear what you got to say. If I had a second choice, I'd probably go with the coins and medallions, because I've been looking into that a bit recently and good to get a bit of insight on some of those rarer coins.
Okay, Jez, where would you be heading on Saturday, the 8th of April?
Well, it's 6 p.m. I would like to be at the Collecting Beyond Juggets, because when I look at all the others, I'm like, yeah, brilliant. And I know that there'll be fantastic panels done by some really, really well-informed people, but I don't know a great deal about Spanish, PPP and POC. And I think that'll be really interesting. Their pitch there, the copy what they've got on the side about how they're going to be talking about the figures, but not just the figures, more rare, unique, beautiful and funny pieces of merchandise and memorabilia produced in Spain in the late 70s and 80s. I look at it and I think, I've dipped my toe in the Meccano side of it. I know a little bit about Palatoy, I know a little bit about coins, because I've been to a few of these things now, and I just thought, let's give that a whirl, because I've started to buy a couple of PPP bits and pieces, and then we look at what's going on with the variant villains, and I just think it binds that together. I think that'd be quite a good one.
Yeah, would be my choice of that day as well. Right then, on to Sunday the 9th. And again, there will be a collecting trading event in the first thing in the morning. Then you have got Craig, Grant and Mark beginning the day. Lights, camera, action, transfers. Love it. Whoever I ask in a minute, I don't want you to choose that one. I think that's a given for us. We would all support Craig in his endeavour. So Craig, don't get offended when they don't choose yours in a minute. Never Tell Me the Odds, Star Wars contest, sweepstakes and prizes. Then we've got Beyond Kenner's Droids and Ewoks, Tunisian Pickers, and then a worldwide Star Wars oddities. Very American heavy this day. Outside of Craig's group, they are all American, apart from Derek Ho, who is joining Bill Cable on the Droids and Ewoks. So I don't know whether these are ones that have been on before, but Pete, I'll come to you.
Yeah, I would probably go with Beyond Kenner's Droids and Ewoks. You just mentioned it. I think that looks pretty interesting, because it's kind of beyond that. You obviously got 2 lines of those figures, but I think it goes on to what that could have been. So that will probably have a lot of South American interest in it. So I think it's going to focus on where the cartoons and those shows actually continued and what could have been made. And there's a lot of prototype stuff in that world, and especially the stuff that certain parts that did come out, certainly in South America and Brazil and Glassleak, we saw certain bits come out that never came out anywhere else. So I think there's probably a lot of prototype, a lot of potential toys that were never made but got to the drawing board. And again, I think with a lot of these, I'm drawn to the sort of the speakers. If you see people who know their stuff and are well established in the hobby, and you've got to see what they've got to see. And they've done a lot of research over the years. So I think Bill Cable and Derek Ho are definitely 2 of those. I think that would be quite a good one on that day.
I interviewed Derek Ho on the Vintage Rebellion, and he was a fascinating chap to talk to. Really did know his stuff. And Bill Cable, actually, he runs Creature Cantina, doesn't he? Where he does his customs Droids and Ewoks of what could have been. They're both very heavily invested in that. Jez, what about you? Where would you be heading on the Sunday?
Strong day, Sunday. Strong day. I would be going to the worldwide Star Wars oddities as well. Again, in my usual slot, 6 p.m. to 7. See some of the weirdest, most wild and fun Star Wars collectibles around the world. And I like this little bit. Examine the world of obscure, rare collectibles as we spotlight the unusual and often unnecessary creations that were manufactured for eager franchise fans in the vintage years and beyond. And I think actually, we look at some of the beyond the toys elements, and I think, I'm flicking quite a few switches there for me, going off and seeing the TVR lads, going to see Craig and Mark and Grant, and then having a little look at this. I'm lapping it up. I'm like a cat at a little bowl of milk. Bring it on.
Indeed. Nice day. Yeah. Nice slot actually, Craig, there. Lunchtime, opening the day, whetting the appetite.
Yeah, happy with that.
Yeah, nice time. So then it comes to Monday the 10th, and I did notice when I was doing my notes that the slots go down to 45 minutes on the Monday rather than an hour. But the day starts Star Wars by mail, collecting Star Wars stamps, Diecraft de Markt, vintage German Star Wars Toys and Collectibles. Then we have New Zealand Collectibles, Tip Top Toll Toys, Taste and the Magic and Beyond. Certainly things there that I'm on. I don't know what Taste the Magic is. That is from husband and wife team Matt and Kirsty Glasgow, so could be quite an interesting one. European vintage Star Wars store displays. Mateus, I know, is all over that. Darren Simpson on that one, and Thorsten. So a real selection of nationalities there: Swedish, English, and German. And then the closing out the weekend, the effect and influence of the Palatoy Company on Star Wars toys, keeping the best to last after Craig's. Dave Tree taking up a slot. Dan, where would you be going on the Monday?
Going to Craig's panel, of course.
That was on the Sunday. We've already gone past that. I did give you the opportunity, and you're not listening.
I would be going to Dave Tree's panel, talk about Palatoy toys.
Yeah, there's no way he'll be able to keep it to 45 minutes. He loves to chat, doesn't he?
That's why they put it at the end of the day. We do that to a guy at work. If he's on first in a meeting, you ain't talking. So Dave's got to go last, I think. But what a great way to close it out.
I'm sure he's got people co-hosting with him, but at the moment it only states his name, and it's just like they've put him down as like, yeah, you're not allowed anyone, Dave. Love it. Craig, where would you be heading?
I think the store displays, I mean, that's going to be a very visually rich and kind of interesting presentation, given the people who are on the stage and the collections I know they have. So I think that'd be right on my street.
I love the fact that Thorsten's got himself 2 collector's tracks, and they put them both on the same day there. He's on at 12:30, then back on at 2:30. He's going to be in full swing that day.
Well, at least he gets a break.
He does. Yeah. I think the store display sounds quite interesting, and I don't know if you've seen that image of Mateus had put up all his Swedish store displays all up on his office wall. It's quite an image to behold of what he's had there. But
yeah, there's some interesting, and I imagine it's quite rare. You know, when we talked about the little showcase they did at Christmas on the Facebook group at the advertising and store displays, and hopefully they'll venture out from just the toys, so we don't just see the same imagery with a different logo on it. We get to see some kind of stuff that's unique to that country. So yeah, should be a good one.
Yeah, I think the New Zealand collectibles could be interesting as well. Nice to see something a little different there. Well, that is your collecting track. There is some great stuff there. I think there's something for everybody. I think any of them, if you were around at the right time to rock up to any of them, I think you'd have a pretty good experience and a pretty good education on whatever you're listening to. Looking at the names that are hosting, I know most of them. You're kind of like, they all know their stuff, so go and enjoy it. Not you though, Jez. You won't be available for that. So that takes us on to the other stages. I mean, we've already mentioned the university stage with Craig, but you've also got the fan stage. But the university stage has some quite interesting stuff on, Craig. You're in some interesting areas. I mean, Star Wars Tourism's on here again, where they look at Tunisia again. Now, I know there's a collecting track discussion on there, but this is going all the way, visiting the galaxy in Tunisia. It says California, Norway, Italy, Spain. So that's going to take you on a bit of a tour of the world and where to put on your bucket list of travelling to go and see some different filming sites. Is there anything on the university stage, boys, that anyone's seen in particular that really pops out to them?
I'm going to say it.
Go on.
The drag panel.
Yes, so that is Saturday between 12:30 and 1:30. This was, I think it was the first kind of panel that was kind of leaked out, wasn't it?
Got everyone's necks in a twist, didn't it? Quite literally. I love a bit of RuPaul. I love a bit of Drag Race. As I sit here, I don't know what the connection with Star Wars and drag is. I'll be absolutely honest, but it's different enough and it's intriguing enough for me to kind of want to go and see what that's about. I'll be there.
Okay, so you will be heading there. Nice. Anyone else seen anything they fancy in here?
I think this is one of the richest areas. I think there's a load of, because I like this where we get in other people's point of view and not necessarily canon, we've just spoken about that, but the science of Return of the Jedi, I think that could be quite good fun. Yeah, I think, I'd probably go and check out the science of Jedi. I mean, I like it that there's imagination here. And, there's, you have people like Doug Chang coming on and do various panels and stuff, and that's always going to be good, isn't it? Star Wars in the 90s, people refer to that as the dark times, but that's interesting. Okay, let's go and see what they've got to talk about. So there's a few things there, which, as Craig has said at the beginning, don't go to the usual ones. Just go and see something different. What were they talking about? about Star Wars in the 90s. You know, we know that what were some of the big things. Yeah, we got the widescreen editions. I remember when they came out, that was awesome. And then, yeah, we got the special editions, and then we were gearing up towards Phantom Menace. But from a toy collecting point of view, it was dark times at the early 90s, wasn't it? So what are they going to be covering that whole decade on the university stage? You click on the link, it gives you nothing.
There was some good literature in the 90s, so
yeah,
takes us through there. And I was surprised you weren't all over the trailer park, Jez. A curated journey through Star Wars trailers and advertising. Know you like a bit of that? There's loads here, and our point is, don't be upset if you don't get one of the big ticket lotteries. The experience is always brilliant. I don't think you'll ever beat Chewie We're Home. So all these big ones you'll see on YouTube, everyone will be able to watch the next day. Some of these, fan-made ones and the more niche, you might not get the opportunity. So go check it out. You might not be disappointed. I see Doug Chain's doing one, isn't he? There working in the Star Wars art department, and I've seen him on stage in Chicago, and he's actually quite a fascinating bloke to listen to.
I quite like the title of that as well. It's the challenges of film design.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like it's just going to be a Lucasfilm fluff piece, Yeah,
I think you're right, actually. I think there's some great stuff here.
I think that the Falcon one, that's quite an interesting. Everyone just assumes that Falcon set was built in Elstree, but it was actually built in Wales. There was a piece on BBC News, I think it must have been sometime maybe last summer, where they've opened up a little bit of a museum towards it now, where they built this Falcon one summer under secrecy in this little town in Wales and then shipped it all across to Elstree. And it's one of the biggest sets ever built at that time. There's a story to be told there. I don't think probably many people know.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, those people have been the people that are doing that panel. I see they've been pushing it across the celebration groups at the moment. So that's.
I'd be up for listening to them talk for whatever it is, an hour on that, because you get a 10-minute news clip it on BBC News. There's a couple of videos on YouTube, but I'm sure you might get a bit more info out of that one.
And obviously there is the fan stage as well. Pete, anything on the fan stage that grabs you? I mean, Padme's closet. Dan and Craig, us three, should have gone on to that because we know all about her outfits, don't we?
We can pronounce diaphanous.
Yeah, and Dan can talk about the fabrics that we used.
The Solo story one could be interesting. So that's the only nod for that movie in the whole event, isn't it?
Yeah.
5th anniversary as well, which I know is not the greatest of milestones, but it'd be interesting to see what they say on that. I don't know I haven't got names on there.
How the sequels expand the mythology of Star Wars could be quite interesting. Definitely one to take back to Dan. Yeah, definitely feel there's a few bits in there, but I think you're right. I think the university stage is going to be a
place to be.
A place to be. I think there's some quite interesting and maybe fun little things when you need to sit down. Not you, Jez. You'll be running.
Brilliant.
Well, that is the panels. Anyone got anything else they wanted to say about the panels before we move on?
Yeah, just want to say best of luck to everyone who's doing one. Best of luck to you, Craig. And we're all really confident that you're going to smash it.
Oh, bless you.
Let's celebrate.
Right, let's move on to guests. Now, I think some people have been a little bit disappointed on this. And like I said to you, I think they're being a little bit harsh because I compared this list to last year's. I think it's very similar. I think this year you've got the likes of a few more Mandalorian people. There's a couple of Andors on this list. There's a few British people like Dennis Lawson that wasn't in America. Hayden Christensen wasn't there. But there is a lot of similarities to last year. And we're not down on numbers. So they have met their criteria. There is a lot of people. I suppose it would have been nice to see a few more Return of the Jedi mainstays maybe, but they have ticked a box, and sadly quite a few of them have actually passed. But guests, what's everyone thinking about the guest lists? Who's into autographs here?
I think the prices is what people have reacted to, but I think people have always complained about the prices of autographs at Celebration.
I think they've normally still been in line with other shows. I got I think 9 in Chicago.
Yeah.
And the money I spent in Chicago, for me to get equivalent in London, you're probably talking about half the amount of people. So let me just take Ian McDermott, for example, who I got out in Chicago. From what I paid for him, he is 125 quid for an autograph. So he's about £45 up on what I paid. Ewan McGregor signed at Scotland Comic Con last year, and it's actually I haven't seen that. Ewan McGregor's now sold out on everything. Now that's the first time I've seen that. So his autograph's gone. So he was 100, and I think Grant got him at Scotland Comic Con for 170 quid in September time last year, 250 quid. And so the prices are Giancarlo Esposito, Moff Gideon. He's 100 quid. In about 3 weeks after Celebration, he is in Scotland. He's at Scotland Comic Con. Yeah, so he's £42 in Scotland. He's £58 cheaper.
That's very precise. £42.
42 quid. I do collect autographs. I've got quite a few, and I was looking at these and I thought, what should I do? So I'm going to buy myself a Mandalorian poster, and I thought I'd get a few of there's some good guests there from Mandalorian. Yeah. So I will get Moff Gideon here because I've got no intention of going to Scotland. But if you're going to Scotland Comic Con, that's quite a difference. There's a £7 admin fee every 100 quid you're spending as well. Once you add that on, you're talking 60 quid cheaper.
I think it's the punt in it, whether or not you think you're going to be able to sign him again. Because I think Ming-Na Wen, she was at the London Film and Comic Con so in 2021 in the March, she was signing. I think it was 75 there for her. There's definitely a premium for going to Celebration. It's whether or not you want to take the chance you'll be able to get their autograph cheaper in the future, I suppose.
I mean, even so Femi Taylor, she was at Echo at the beginning of the year.
What was that, 20 quid an autograph?
She was 25 quid at Echo, so she's 50 here. There is a markup, but like you say, there. It's what you want to do. So I've so far got Katie Sackhoff booked. I can't remember now. Who else is there? That's Ming-Na Wen booked. And
Giancarlo?
No, not yet. I will though. Who was the third one? Carl Weathers. I've booked as well.
That's a good one. I don't think you see him at many shows.
No, and do you know what? I'm really tempted because Rocky.
Take a Rocky
film. I really want to follow
picture.
Creed and Predator, and he kind of he's done some of my favourite films. But so my Mando poster: Grief Karga, Fennec Shan, Bo-Katan. I mean, that's a great start. But I probably will add Giancarlo, Rosario Dawson, who's expensive, but Ahsoka, she's only going to go up, isn't she? And Simon Cassiendez is there, isn't he, who plays Axe Woves. But I didn't realise, it was only when I started looking at them. So some of the voiceover, the chaps, like Matt Lanter, he played Frogman and Frog Lady, which I didn't realise. He was in the costume for Frogman, and and did the pickups did the main bit for Frog Lady, and then there was someone else that did the pickups. Matthew Wood, who was Grievous and does all the sounds, I got his in Chicago. So when you click on his IMDb, he's Mandalorian. He does the sound editing straight away for Mando anyway.
Yeah.
But he's also one of the characters.
Okay.
So you're kind of like, all right. So when you start looking at them, is how far you go.
You need to get your poster signed with them as well.
Exactly. But I'm a bit with you. I think the audience is there for Star Wars, isn't it? So
we just want to have a good time, and sometimes, you know what, spend the money, worry about it later.
I mean, it's a shame Jez can't get off the stand for a little bit, because in America, me and him had our photo taken with Ahmed Best.
Yeah.
And I'd love to have got another photo with someone.
I'll get away. I'll be able to get away. We'll figure something out.
Make a little collection as we go to different celebrations.
We'll figure it out. You know, magic happens at Celebration, and we'll figure it out somehow.
Craig, I believe you've got a photo booked, haven't you?
I don't have a photo booked. Kimberly has a photo booked.
Oh, she's not letting you get in it then?
Do you know what? Kimberly and Gwendolyn Christie, you don't want me in the picture ruining it.
Yeah, that is two powerful women, and it'll be like a bit of spam in the middle of some quality bread.
Jez,
I write that down as your new nickname. A bit of spam.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be a good picture between those two.
I think so.
No one else going to get anything? Pete, do you dabble in that kind of thing?
I don't. I've only got one autograph, and it's...
Who have you got?
Anthony Daniels, and that sort of came to me via a friend back in the early 90s, and I'd like to get more, but I don't know, I can't buy it. It's just eye-watering expensive. It's just, and I think it surely would make more sense if they reduced the price, and then people would just go and you collect more. I think sort of trying to put any collection of autographs together is...
Well, let's decide on one for you. Warwick's there. Warwick would be nice. He's not too
Warwick,
bad. 65 quid.
But Warwick's there with his whole family, it looks like. He could have a family shoot.
He has.
He's got his lad and his daughter.
They played the two Ewoks, didn't they? That was at the end of the sequels.
Yeah, but they didn't
Is that how much he's charging? 65 quid, Warwick Davis.
Yeah, that's not too bad, is it? Because he's a.
Do you know? I'll tell you a quick. When Harrison was born, I wanted to get something to put on his wall, and I wrote to Warwick Davis off the back of his website, and he sent me a lovely signed picture to Harrison. He's got still hanging on his wall now.
No.
Oh, nice.
For free.
Well, do you want me to pick up the rest of his family for you?
Yeah. I'll send you the picture.
Well, his son's called Harrison, isn't it?
Or maybe he thought it was his son. I don't know.
Oh, or did you name him after Warwick's son?
Yeah.
Well, he's older than your lad.
Yeah.
Let me just check when he's born, because that's really nice, mate. If you've named him after Warwick, I'm going to go and book Warwick and tell him. I really like that, Dan. It's a really nice touch. So Harrison Davis is there, and also his daughter Annabelle. They're 50 quid each, Dan. If you send me 100 quid, I'll sort that out.
Oh, really?
If you get both of them for that.
Oh, right, okay.
Probably more expensive than it would have been at London Film and Comic Con just a couple of weeks ago. But Caroline Blakiston, right, Mon Mothma, lovely lady. You know, as you can imagine, she's getting on a bit, and but a lovely lady. And what I've seen of her with regards to her interacting with fans and stuff when she's had autographs or when she's given autographs and poster photos, she's been really sort of considerate to people. For $39.99, bearing in mind she is a Return of the Jedi character, I think with the way Andor's going and everything else, Mon Mothma is going to become more and more important within our Star Wars world. So I think that's a good tip. Caroline Blakiston, lovely lady, 40 quid autograph, 40 quid photo op.
Good one to start with, that one, Pete. I'll tell you who I couldn't believe.
That was cool.
I got Billy D in Chicago, and it cost me 80 quid. And I think I told you that I found him the rudest person that I dealt with there. Didn't even look up. It's purely there. 260 quid he's gone up to.
Jesus Christ.
So that's not just a slight rise. £270 to have your photo with him. And if he gives you the same experience as what I had for that, I mean, all I want is him to look up and just say hello there. Not hello there. That's Obi-Wan. But,
hello, what have we here?
Yeah. Just acknowledge someone, you know? Yeah, I really hope he does a little smile for that sort of money. But
he is in his 80s now, to be fair to him, though. So he's probably thinking, I'm just going to rinse this while I still can.
So is Caroline Blakiston. She's lovely.
I mean, Andy Serkis is renowned for being really nice, isn't he? He was at London Film and Comic Con recently, wasn't he? I think it was at the one we were there. I think people were saying that he was really engaging when you went to his table. He's quite a big star now. So, I mean, he's already sold out Friday for Celebration. So, I mean, a lot of the photo shoots. So the photo shoot with young Blair and McGregor sold out. Christensen and McGregor photo shoots sold out. I mean, that was something like 460 quid to have your photo taken with those two. All gone. Gwendoline Christie sold out. Photo-wise, Rosario Dawson photo sold out.
It's funny, isn't it? Would you rather when they charge for photographs? I find it really bizarre. So maybe it's just me as a collector, but I want that signed memento because that goes into my collection. And photographs just don't do anything for me. I don't think I'd ever there isn't anyone I'd want to do a photo shoot with. I don't get the fascination with that and the money people pay.
Not with Sir Hamill or something. I mean, so
no.
The Little Armoured Best one. Have you seen the mixed tiles that you can get that stick to your wall? So I've got a stretch alongside above my window in my office, and the Armoured Best one I've got in a little file ready to order. That was with me and Jez with up there, and just going to go across the top there. They look nice, Star Warsy.
I'd rather a signed
Friends.
Print. Nice signed print.
Yeah, so social currency for a different generation.
Yeah, that's what I think it is. I think that's why some of these ones have sold out from some of the prequel Clone Wars type people.
I see Mads Mikkelsen is sold out on Friday. He's only there for the 2 days. Surprised I want him, Dan.
That's an impressive. I mean, people were moaning about who they've got there, but that's some impressive names there. Well, they are for me, anyways. I think there's some great actors in it, not even just through Star Wars, just generally good actors they've managed to get in there. I don't know what people's problem is.
No, I actually now the more I look at it, I mean, I've come to terms with the prices. I actually don't think it's that bad, and they are high, but they say you're in that environment, aren't you? It's
Moses Ingram, notably absent. I hope that's not connected with the whole Kelly Marie Tran, that she's just got so done in with people on social media and stuff that she's just disassociated herself with it all. Because that'd be a bit sad. It's sad to see people pushed away who've contributed so much. So, do you know what I would have liked to have seen Moses Ingram there?
There's a party going on right here, a celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate your party with you. Come on now. Let's all celebrate and have a good time.
Always a big part of celebrations is evening entertainment. getting together with your friends, your new friends that you may have met, having a few beers, a bit of food, dancing a jig. I mean, at Chicago, we went to the Bean, didn't we, Jez? And there was a massive lightsaber fight under the Bean, which was all mirrored, which was great night. I mean, me and Grant spent a bit of time there that night. But there's a bit going on here then. So Dan, last time there, the Fox was the place that everyone went and drunk every night. I mean, we had a great night last time, didn't we? Do you remember the token night, the free beers?
Yes, the Friday, Saturday, and the Sunday night, or the 7th to the 9th, Star Wars after party it's the pub immediately outside the XL. So when you go down the big set of steps, I think it's like a couple of 100 yards up the road, seemed to be the place everyone's initially drawn to when they come out of Celebration. They obviously want to earn some money off it this time because it is ticketed from 5 o'clock in the evening through to 1 in the morning. That's £5 a ticket, and pub with lots of drink and food. It says, it's in the description, it says, fun time partying, food and drink, and something a little different. So I'm not sure what the something a little different is. Maybe
that 1 o'clock license is going to be useful, isn't it? I don't think they're open to that time last time.
Okay.
Having somewhere to drink till 1 is good.
Yeah, because we used to a couple of times we ended up in hotels, didn't we? In the lobbies having a pint. But yeah, no, it's a good location, isn't it? It's right outside the XL. It's a good meeting place, and then to move on to wherever else you're going.
Yeah, but there is things every night if you want a specific event, and starts on the Wednesday if you're travelling into London near the XL early doors. Wednesday the 5th, Craig, and the not so virtual Cantina meetup. What is that?
Yeah, well, a virtual Cantina, not to be confused with the other Cantina event on Sunday night, which we'll talk about, is a live version of the weekly online shows that go out on Zoom and Facebook. So on the Wednesday night, they're having a bit of a low-key night, meeting the mods and the admins. Nice gentle warm-up, I think, to the event, inviting people to bring their swag and just have a drink at the WXYZ bar at the Loft on the XL complex. So that's on the Wednesday, and then on the Thursday they'll be doing their Boonta Eve, which is their big kind of day-long event at the Breakfast Club in Canary Wharf, which is a bit of a celebration tradition now. All-day event, stuff going on all through the day. Celebrity meet and greets, live performances. They've got Blues Harvest playing, live podcasts, live music, karaoke, and they've got their annual Alderaan Idol contest. So that's on the Thursday.
Yeah, I've seen a few things being announced for that. Yeah, good shout. So although not an official event, there is always room sales if you're in the know. Pete, you've been to celebrations. Can you explain what a room sale is?
Yeah, I can try. They're not in rooms really, or in the traditional sense.
They were in the early years, weren't they?
Yeah. I think they started off in hotel rooms, and if you get a chance to look in the sort of the old Rebel Scarman on the archive, there's Ken a Collector as well. If you get to sort of search room sales and put those various websites in, you get some incredible pictures of the early days when they were doing these, and they had to sort of the Steve Denny the proof card sales. That was all sort of room sales, and just some of the stuff available, and just hundreds of proof cards in comic boxes just been sold for sort of $20 and $30. They're quite fantastic. So I've never done one in that sort of hotel room environment. They've always ended up being more in sort of hotel lobbies or narrow gangways or side rooms, or wherever a security guard can be convinced to actually kind of come on board with it and let it all happen. It's quite a tradition and quite a legendary event. I think everyone's pretty excited about that. I know there's a lot of chat online about it and what's going to happen and what to expect. Chris Georgoulias normally is the main guy behind organising this, and he's got Andy Rylos and Jason Smith on board as sort of the British side of it to get probably an early March on it. So yeah, scheduled for the Friday night. You probably won't find out where or when until the Friday night. And even as Craig and I found out in LA, even as it was happening, it got moved on pretty sharpish from where it started and ended up going across the road to another hotel. So yeah, you need to be watching your social media on the night of the event and keep an eye and get some put the feelers out in the day and make sure you're connected to all the good people. But it's well worth going to, even if you're not planning on buying anything. Just have a look. There's some exceptional pieces there. I've seen some amazing stuff there, and it's not traditionally dealers. It's more just like fellow collectors who bring stuff along and want to put it out there. But traditionally, it's always been vintage. I think there's probably a few modern bits there, but I'd say it's 90% vintage. But expect to see some incredible stuff, sort of prototypes, proofs, foreign items, leather, uzai, basically anything people can fit in a wee bag and drag around various hotel spaces before they get kicked out by security guards. But yeah, it's a fantastic experience, and you'll see some just phenomenal pieces, but bring some cash or some bits to sell. But it's well worth doing. I think to one on the Anaheim Generation Skywalker, there was a video, Craig, you put up a video of the room sales there, which ended up in a sort of a sprawling hotel lobby. They've got the space out in the States, which is obviously the worry in London, where you haven't quite got that space. It'll be good, and probably a highlight for the collectors, I think, on that Friday night.
The one in London last time was sweltering. I know it was July and not April, but yeah, if it's in the same place, it's
it was in a
pretty
dead
awful.
end as well, wasn't it? You kind of went in and couldn't get
Came
out.
literally gasping for air. So yeah, don't wear much to that.
I'm good. We wear some underoos.
You'll do it, you'll be in your flip-flops, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that. So the Saturday, there is several events. One that I only picked up on today, which I'll just give you a shout out to. It is the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi, and they are showing it at the Odeon in Covent Garden. So if you fancy going along and watching a screening of the greatest movie ever made, go and watch that. Jez, there's also Bib's Bash on Saturday the 8th.
Yeah, probably the people who are going to know about this one already know about it. So it's Star Wars Sessions, who have their podcast. They did the good job about having a cinema showing in London a few months back. So they've gone for it again. So they want their Star Wars Sessions after party, and they found a location which they reckon is about a 15-minute or so walk away from the Excel Centre. So it's in Canning Town. Come on to all the details in a second, but it's on Saturday night. It's an over 18s gig. It's they've got a bar, and there's a dance floor. Star Wars Sessions putting it on. So the two cheeky Essex lads. And it says Bib's Bash, a Star Wars celebration after party from the lads at Star Wars Sessions podcast. Join us for a cheeky Star Wars party. It'd be a bit of a little tribal event, I reckon. I would be going to that, but there is something else which is taking my fancy on Saturday night. So absolutely, my taste buds and my loyalties are taking me elsewhere.
I'm with you here. So we will be heading off to the main event on Saturday night, and that is a spacecraft beer celebration. Craig.
Yes. Well, as I threatened at the top of the show, I'm dragging in a special guest. So I've brought Kimberly into the conversation as our social secretary, who's had a lot to do with this. So I thought it was fair to get it from the horse's mouth. Hello, Kimberly.
Hi. I don't think you've called me a horse for a while.
Yeah. Awkward.
So obviously, I like Star Wars, but beer is my thing, and this I feel like this is taken on a mind of its own now, because it's the third Star Wars Fringe beer event that I've done at Celebration, and yeah, this one's got a lot bigger than I expected. So I think this is going to be at least 200 people strong. I guess the big thing for me is we've got Emperor's Brewery involved. They're probably one of the top-rated breweries in the world. They do some incredible stouts. They're obviously Star Wars related. Damien, he churns out some of the best beers that you've probably ever tasted, especially if you're into amazing stouts like I am. His beers always sell out really, really quickly. So I'm just super excited that we've managed to get him on board, because obviously it's in London. And he's going to do a collab brew with Brew by Numbers, which is where we're hosting the event. So they're two amazing breweries, and I can't believe managed to pull off this collab for Celebration. But it's going to be an imperial stout, and it's chocolate and cherry, and it's going to be in a lovely slimline can, but that is going to act as the beer launch. So Star Wars fans are going to get it exclusive before anybody else. So you have to come to the event to get the can. You'll also get a half pint of pale ale from Brew by Numbers as well. We're going to have a lot going on, so there's going to be raffles. Damien's going to throw in some amazing limited edition beers that you just can't even get anymore. So it's definitely worth getting in there. And I think we've got a special charity we're going to be doing that for.
Yes, we've got a charity fundraiser for somebody that we know very well, close to our hearts. So that'll be going on. But yeah, this picks up where this kind of craft beer event left off in Anaheim. I think the first one was Chicago. That we were there, very small. We did a one in collaboration with Fresh Hops podcast at Rad Brewing in Anaheim, which saw that Venn diagram where Star Wars fans and craft beer fans overlap, there's a lot of people in that little section. And one of the things I love about it is this idea that this slightly edgy underground scene of craft beer, which leans heavily on pop culture and especially Star Wars, kind of has this place in Celebration. Off to the side, Disney would never sign this off. But it's nice for us to be involved with it. And we've had the opportunity, because it's on home turf, to just put a bit more effort in, bring these two brewers together, host this event, which is just over the water from the Excel. So I think it's about 15 minutes in an Uber.
Yep.
I think if you go over the cable car to where the O2 is, you can just about walk it. So it's not too far away. And yeah, it's just an evening where we can all get together, have a mingle. You don't have to be into beer. You don't have to bring Star Wars themed beers to swap. But if you want to, it's a good chance to get cans and bottles from around the world.
So that was the thing we didn't mention really in depth, is the beer swap. So the beer swap is legendary. The last one we did in Anaheim, I honestly didn't think that people would bring a lot of beer. So there was a lot of Star Wars beers around, because obviously May the 4th had happened. So people were collecting those. Some people turned up in a car with crates of beer that they brought to the swap, and it got quite a bit competitive, and everybody was like, looking at each other's beers, working out which ones they could swap, who maybe some other people would turn up during the night that they would have better beers. So yeah, some people walked away with some absolute treasures. I think I took like about 23 beers with me over there, and I did come back with quite a few, which I still have some in my fridge right now.
So that's
where's the best place to get a Star Wars beer to be able to swap it?
There's a few in circulation. I think Stormtrooper is always available, and I think that went down really well at Anaheim. Emperor's, there is still some in circulation as well, and you don't just have to bring Star Wars beer. We've kind of opened it up so that you can just bring beers from your hometown. I think that's where it started, really, the essence of it. When we were in Chicago, people just wanted to bring like a local beer that they could get other people to sample, that they were proud of, or it was something that they enjoyed where they lived. So one person bought Pliny the Elder, which is like an absolute beer unicorn, and people were like, I've never tried this before. So it doesn't have to be Star Wars beer, it can be any beer, I guess, as long as you've got a story behind it. One thing I know about people that are into beer is they love trying something new, and when there's some kind of history behind it or something that you're proud of, I think we don't have to limit it to Star Wars beers, but there's definitely going to be some Star Wars beers there. I've been prepping my collection already.
Yeah, no, people online have been kind of showing off what they're bringing. People coming from the States bringing stuff that we can't get over here, and we've been very lucky that Brew by Numbers have embraced this. They're a tap room, so they exist to sell beer, but they're letting people kind of swap other brands and other beers. As long as they keep them sealed and they're not kind of necking them at their table, that's really good of them. So should be a fun event.
Do you want to talk about the beer name? The beer design? It looks pretty snazzy. We've just had the artwork, which we revealed. So do you want to talk about the story behind the name?
Yeah, so Brew by Numbers, their thing is that they give their beers numbers. They don't give them names. So I think their recent World Cup beer was 66, for example. So they wanted a Star Wars-y number, and we kicked a few things around. They have gone with 421, after TK421. So the design of the can is a nice copyright-friendly inspiration from the consoles from the various movies. So the graphics all reflect a lot of the screens you see in the Death Star and inside the X-Wing and things. So it's a very attractive thing in and of itself, and hopefully something that collectors are going to want to get their hands on, and it's included in the price. That's what the £7.50 gets you, guaranteed a can to take home with you.
Brilliant.
Outstanding.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Craig, can I just say one thing, if I may, real quick? Because you said, oh yeah, it's good. The whole evening looks nice. Nice isn't a big enough word for this, people. This looks awesome. It really, really does. Yeah, the can looks great. I saw the reveal on social media. It looks awesome.
The can's nice. It's a good stormtrooper-y theme. I think that works well. And one thing we're hopefully bringing to the party is the Generation Skywalker quiz.
Yes.
Everyone loves a Star Wars quiz. There's going to be a raffle, and we want that raffle, the proceeds of the raffle, to go to the running Stormtrooper. So there are opportunities for a bit more fundraising on the night.
Oh, lads. Oh, good. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm just collating prizes at the moment. So Damien's given us some prizes. Obviously, Brew by Numbers will throw in some beers, but there's another brewer called Moore, and they've got a Mando themed beer coming out. So I think they're going to give us like some exclusive ones of those for it, and I guess we'll collect some merch and other stuff we can give away, I think, as well.
It's amazing. Now, your website, the Eventbrite website, says Saturday, 1900 till 22:30. Cool. Right. Yeah. So be there at 7, 3.5 hours on the smash. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, a lot of people have asked if it's open to families attending, and we've kind of agreed with Brew by Numbers that if families do want to,
families are welcome. Under 18s have to be accompanied by an adult. You know, it's not going to go down well if a gang of 15-year-old lads turn up.
Kimberly, thank you so much. Before you go, who are you cosplaying as?
Oh yeah.
Because we've all had a guess at the beginning of the show of what you're going as, and we just want to see if any of us have got it right.
I am. It's Fallen Order orientated, so I am doing the second sister.
Yes, I got it right. Jez thought you were going as Wooer, the barman.
I have got multiple costumes on the go. It's kind of I went from I'm not going to do anything to I have three possibilities on the go. So that's one, and then I'm doing two riffs on other costumes. So yeah, you'll have to wait and see for those, I think.
Excellent, that's brilliant. Are you going to be cosplaying at the beer show?
I don't know. I'm trying to work out. I think it might be like, I've got like a full mask being made and stuff, so it might be quite restrictive. I don't know. We'll see.
Is there a way we could get Craig to dress up as the beer can that we've produced?
Oh, I'd love to. Like that one they put Kenny Baker in the
that'd
80s.
Be amazing.
Yeah, like that. Well, definitely look forward to that, and that is definitely an event to get to. I think we're all. Are we most of us going to it? I know me and Jez are.
Yeah, I'm down for it. I haven't got my tickets. I've just opened it up. It says if they're running low on numbers, I need to get in there. But Sarah's going to come along as well because we missed it in LA and we missed that one.
Get the early bird, Pete.
The early bird. How early a bird is it?
4.
Noon. Go over there midday.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd let you.
The tap room's going to be open.
Yeah, there's going to be pizza as well.
Yeah, well, it's early. It's good. It's in Greenwich, isn't it? It's kind of back to Greenwich. Yeah.
It's just going to be one of those nights to remember. I think it's going to be awesome.
I think it promises to be a little bit messy, doesn't it? No doubt. Hopefully.
The last one took a life of its own.
Yeah, so we'll be there. We'll do some interviews and things and be milling around.
Yeah, then we can all go to Car Wash, the 1970s discotheque.
I might actually do a Star Wars disco playlist for when it gets a bit messy nearer the end, I think.
Yeah, we can do that.
Wow.
Can we have Zoom by Fat Larry's band? Because
yes, it's there.
Is that when you want everyone to go home, Jez?
Well, no, it's just, because that's got that whole 80s vibe, hasn't it? And, when Zoom is just, I tell you, and I've said this before, and I don't want to, milk it too much, but if you're having a bad day, just put Zoom on by Fat Larry's band. Just say, Alexa, play Zoom by Fat Larry's band. And just just the opening chords, your day's brighter. I need to go and listen to Zoom by Fat Larry's band after the day I've had.
Okay, so that is the craft beer show, and it sounds banging. On Sunday the 9th, there is #Cantina2, which coincides with the round table myself and Jez did. Jez, can you just give us a recap of what that is?
Do you know what? That is going to be the second most fun thing which we've been doing. So Cantina 2, on the back of the ever successful Cantina, the original one in 2016, this has been brought to you by Star Wars favourite Martin Keeler and Jed Shepard, so producer and writer, guy who made Host, an awesome movie, and Mark Hamilton from rock band Ash, and a load of friends and partners and various things have put on this incredible bash. Cantina 2. Ash are going to be there. They're headlining with Blue Harvest, Darth Elvis's last ever performance. DJ Elliott is going to be there, Level Up Leroy. You're getting a lot for your money. I mean, so tickets are around about, I think we paid about £43 for them. But this is an Ash gig, and it's going to be brilliant. So it's at the Indigo at the O2. So just go to the standard sort of ticketing areas if you wanted to get tickets for those. They are going, but it promises to be an absolute night to remember. It's going to be one of those things where if you weren't there, you can't join in on the conversation in years to come, because people will be talking about Cantina 2 for years to come. It's going to be amazing. This is Cantina on Instagram, standard sort of stuff. They've got a link tree with all of the different links, so you can get amongst it, buy a ticket, and again have your second messiest night on the trot.
Yeah, go out in style.
It's going to be brilliant. Well, the stuff they were saying to us, they're going to have people there. There are going to be Star Wars characters, actors there, people involved. Now, I'm going to start this rumour, and I'll just put it out there. Matt Berry, from everyone's favourite, from the the IT crowd, does all sorts of voices and has done voices in I think it was Book of Boba Fett. Huge Star Wars fan. He's going to be there. There's going to be lots and lots of special things happening. And if you push the boat out and go for the VIP after party ticket, you are not going to be disappointed. That's all we're going to say.
Yep, Nick Berry there as well, singing Every Loser Wins and Heartbeat. And a really underrated song, that, actually.
Sounds like all the evening stuff is probably going to beat Celebration itself this year. It sounds really, really good.
It is. It does sound good.
It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on!
It's a celebration.
Best thing about being on Generation Skywalker is when you come up with ideas, you can just go to Craig, I've come up with this idea, can you sort it out? And he nails it. Craig, what is the Generation Skywalker swag for Celebration?
You pass the ball and I nod it in, mate. I mean, it was a great idea, and it's something we've been kicking around for a while. So we wanted it to be Return of the Jedi specific because it's the anniversary year. And Stu came up with this idea to do something based on the Panini sticker book that we all have fond memories of as children, collecting the stickers and swapping them in the playground. So obviously, we're not a cash-rich organisation. Everything we do is self-funded. We don't pester you for buying us a coffee or Patreons or anything like that. So when it comes to doing this swag, we have to kind of be quite smart with our creative executions. So what we've done is a mini sticker album. So it's half the size, but it is 8 pages big. So there is some kind of substance to it. It's not just a little postcard. And what we've done is created a set of 12 stickers that are required to complete the album, and we've designed it in a way that looks like some of it's already sort of been kicked off for you, so it's got a lot of little visuals. But what's been nice about it is that opportunity to just tell a little bit of a story about what we do and what we've done over the last 2 or 3 years in terms of our shows, our videos, our blog posts. That, everything that we've done, we've been able to sort of put into this little sticker book. So if we happen upon you in a queue for a panel and you get one of these, it's a fun thing in and of itself. It's a nice little Star Wars collectible. It's a nice little nod to something that I think a lot of people will remember. But if you look a little bit closer in very small writing, it tells a little bit about the Generation Skywalker story and who we are and what we're about. And it's come together quite well, I think. And we all kind of pretty much agreed on its direction and its look and what it said sort of quite quickly. And it's gone off to print this week and will be back in our hands and ready to distribute across all 4 days.
So how that is going to work, I mean, first of all, Craig, excellent job. I know we come up with these ideas. I couldn't actually execute that idea at all. So the work you've done on that was brilliant. You knocked it out really quickly as well once we did confirm we were doing that. So yeah, mate, excellent. So there is 12 stickers, like Craig's just said. With the album, when you get your album, you will get 4 loose stickers. But to complete it, you will need to track down Craig, myself, Jez and Pete, who will all be carrying 2 stickers for the album each. We will announce across our social media where you can find us. I mean, we will be getting onto booze in a minute. Jez is there running. If you're going to the beer show, you've just heard that you'll be able to track all 4 of us down in one hit there. But Craig, obviously, you can just go along to the university stage and just hang around afterwards, or just keep going. Hey, can you stop the looking? I just want to get my stickers, and really, really heckle him during one of his talks. That would really make me laugh.
Yeah, that'd be good.
But that is the way of completing the album. So yeah, nice idea. But we will put up a couple of times where we're going to be in certain places, won't we? So we are easier to find. So that is that bit of swag. But there is other bits of swag. Pete, Now, you were part of quite an incredible piece of swag which went out in Celebration, Mark Daniels' design. Can you tell us about what's coming this year?
Yes, we talked about doing a few different things, but nothing quite got going. So I think it was decided that the little cardboard Death Stars we did for Chicago was so popular that and so many people missed out on them that it made sense to do another run of them. Obviously, it's based on the original Palitoy Death Star, which is a huge part of the UK toy heritage. It just made a lot of sense to do another run for everyone over here. And as I say, yeah, loads of people missed out, so hopefully everyone's going to manage to get one this time round. But it's slightly different. It's not just a complete reprint, or it's a reissue. So it's the same design actually in the actual cardboard itself, but what's printed on it is different. So it's again a nod to Palitoy. So we've got more of the actual play sets on there. I think that original one had the adverts on it and the various things, but this has got more photos of the play sets as they actual were. Again, Mark has done a fantastic job designing this, and he was, as you said, the original concept artist behind the entire thing. So it's going to be branded Celebration London 23. So so everyone who got one first time round can try and pick up another one, or who missed out can get this one. So also a really nice nod to it, which I think was incredibly important to add, is a nod to James Martin, who was part of the original crew who did this and who sadly passed away in July 2020. So there's a little nod to him on there as well. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so there'll be 7 of us who will have either parts of this, or if you're really lucky, you might be able to score one in one hit. So pretty stoked we're getting those back out there.
Yeah, excellent. And a lovely touch with James Martin being named on the actual item. Craig, you're doing panels. I know last time you gave away a couple of bits and pieces. It was a pencil, wasn't it, on a card when you did the 2016?
We did a pencil, yeah.
Yeah, Helix thing. So have we got more stuff coming this year?
The way they've done it this year is quite interesting. So if you want to give away at a panel, you have to get it all approved internally through Disney and Lucasfilm, which is easy to say, very hard to do, particularly when you're homaging, existing licenses, things that have gone before. So there is some unofficial, 100% unofficial letter set swag that may or may not be connected to our panel that Mark, the swag machine Daniels, has also created, and these are a little pack of upscaled stickers that are inspired by 3 of the characters in one of the early letter set sets. So we've got Luke, Ben and Vader, little die cut stickers. They come in a nice little poly bag with a header card. Very, very sweet. And we won't be able to give those out in the presentation, I don't think, but we will be around, Grant and Mark and myself, so you can get those from us. And also with our Beyond the Toys Facebook group hat on, Mark's also created a group of kind of what if till stickers from early UK licenses. So I'm going to be carrying a nice Clyro and Wall Sausages letter set promotional till sticker. Mark's going to have Trebor and the H.W. Stewart Mallow shapes. That's a niche item from back in the day. And Grant's going to be carrying Lion's Maid and Helix stickers. So I'm going to be having those on me as well. And on top of that, we're going to have some commemorative beer mats for our spacecraft beer celebration. So no one goes away empty-handed when they encounter me at Celebration.
Yeah, Craig is the one to track down if you just want to fill your goodie bag. Yeah, excellent. Sounds brilliant. There has been some amazing swag. We can't go all into it at the moment, but if I had to push you all just for one piece of swag you've seen, what have you seen that you really, really like? Dan, I'm going to come to you first. You've been quiet for a little while.
You come to the wrong person. Our own. I do like that second Death Star, but I've not seen a huge amount other than that. I've kind of tried to switch off from it a bit. So, I'm not going to be much.
So what you're saying is you're bringing to the table the 2 things we've just talked about?
Yeah, because I've got nothing.
That's fair enough, mate. That is fair enough. Pete, what else have you seen?
What have I seen that's cool? The Uzai R2 matches. I don't know if you've seen those. I think the original R2 on the Uzai card back, the pop-up saber was actually a match. Michael Peters and Nick Rees. And they've just done a really cool graphic, and they've just done it on a box of matches, which is a real simple but genius idea. I'm sure they'll be popular. I'm not sure how popular they'll be with the security guards when they try and get to Excel with sort of 100 boxes of matches. They might be a bit suspicious, but That's a pretty cool piece I've seen. That's what seems to be doing the round. But I do think our offering, just everything we've got, like what Craig designed and what we're doing in the Death Star, I think we are, we seem to be sort of punching. I think there's some good stuff, great stuff.
Great stuff. Jez, what else have you seen?
There's a lady called Hannah Bennett who's posted some really cool patches. Now we've got some incredible swag. The swag, the variations which we've seen over the years are brilliant. I think you're right. I think we've got some outstanding stuff, but I do like collecting the patches. And I've got quite a good collection. But the stuff which I've seen Hannah do, she's got one from the prequel trilogy, one from the OT, one from the sequel, and one from TV shows. So that's how I'm sort of interpreting it. So I can see there's a Jar Jar Binks one, there's an Ewok, and there's a Kylo Ren. But what I like about some of these swag things is it quite clearly says Star Wars Celebration 2023 London, and it's just timestamps. I like that. But these aren't just circular patches; they're predominantly circular, but they've got an element of sort of relief on them, which is showing the bottom of an Ewok hood, or the ears of Grogu, or the eyes popping out of Jar Jar Binks, and they're colourful. They're aesthetically, I'm like, yeah, they stand out, and I like them. So I'm going to be seeing if I can get some of those. She's only got 100 of each, because fair play to everyone who is putting swag together, because it's some of this is a considerable effort and cost. So bravo to everyone. But yeah, looking out for some patches.
And Craig, what else have you seen?
Yeah, everything's welcome at the swag table. You do see some really cute things like the kids have made and families have put together themselves. I think it's all got a real value. It all contributes. So, if you're there and you've got a few little pins or things you put together yourself and thinking, all these big organisations with designers at their disposal are going to, blow your swag out of the water. It won't. It all counts. And I think that's an important thing to say. But the one thing that I've seen that stood out for me, and we've spoken about nerd matters on the modern way before now, it's so simple and it's so beautiful. It's a riff on the Highgate tube station sign, so the red circle with the blue through line with the white type, and it simply says high ground.
Strong.
I love it. It's great.
Nice. Well, lots of decent swag will be exchanged hands, and it's a great way to meet people.
It's time to come together. It's up to you. What's your pleasure? Everyone around the world, come on!
So before we close out, we also have Booth's Cosplay and Celebration Store. I mean, today we have seen the list of exhibitors announced, so that is now there. But Jez, you do have a booth for the Running Stormtrooper, which is fantastic news because you're doing it for such a good thing. Can you tell us all about your booth, the challenge you've set yourself, and what people can expect?
Okay, thanks ever so much for the opportunity. I'll try and be as brief as I can, but I'm so excited about it. There's so much in my head right now. For those people who don't know, since 2016, so wow, 7 years now, I've been running as the Stormtrooper. What started off for the first 2 years just for Make-A-Wish, just running London Marathon initially, and then longer distances, ultras for Make-A-Wish. In 2018, I discovered a wonderful children's charity called Spread a Smile, who are quite a fledgling charity who, very similar to Make-A-Wish, they just focus on poorly children, right? On children who are just going through such a hard time, and they support the children and their families as well. But Spread a Smile focus their attention on children who are actually stuck in hospital, spending months, years of their life in hospital. So Spread a Smile go into the hospitals to try and just cheer up the kids a little bit, just to give them a change from the sort of day in, day out sort of medical procedures and stuff like that, which is just robbing them of their childhood. So Make-A-Wish, everyone knows about what Make-A-Wish do. So Make-A-Wish and Spread a Smile, two absolutely beautiful charities. So all of my fundraising gets split 50-50, even 50-50 split. And it can't say fairer than that. So yes, I've run in the costume. I've then retired it. I've then got a little bit soppy when I've seen something and I'm like, right, okay, I'll bring it out of retirement again. I'll do a little bit more. And I have retired from running in public, sort of big public events now. 2022 was my last London Marathon. But when I found out that we've got this on our home turf, I was just like, right, I want to get a booth. I want to do something here. And I also kind of want to tell the story a little bit about what's happened over the last 7 years. so far, £71,500 has been raised so far. So I'm recognising that we're in difficult times right now. I'm recognising that, we've got a cost of living crisis. Everything is more expensive, which is coming out of, the pandemic, and it's just all quite tough. So I'm not setting my sights crazily high. And I've also got something else which is difficult for me to manage. Is I had a booth in Orlando. I was really fortunate to be given a booth by Repop and Lucasfilm that I ran a half marathon every day for 4 days at Orlando. And the Americans were incredibly generous. That week or that weekend raised $5,000 by running that weekend, and so that equated to about £4,000 back then with the exchange rate. And so that was it was all cash, because we were a cash society in 2017. When it comes to fan booths and tables, Lucasfilm have been hard over that. They've said there is no cash transactions. Everything has to be electronic transfer. And I saw this at London Film at Comic-Con when I did a little bit of fundraising there. If you just have a Just Given page or one of those traditional donation pages, they're too slow. People don't want to hang around and enter their name, their address, their details, this, that and the other. They just want to tap and go, or just throw money at the problem and leave. So that's what I've been working on, trying to sort stuff out with the charities and trying to square away a sort of tap payment system so people can see me doing what I'm going to explain I'm doing, and hopefully donate some money. So I'm nervous that I'm not going to raise a great deal because there's no cash transactions. It's all electronic. And I don't want to take people's time too much whilst they're there. I just want people to go, oh, that's crazy, have some money, and probably walk on. But I did a half marathon every day for 4 days. I naturally need to do a little bit more. I need to push the boat. I need to raise the bar, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to be running 100 kilometers that weekend. So it's about 15 and a half miles a day for 4 days, whilst also going to the bar on an evening for a for a soft drink also. So yeah, 15 and a half miles or so a day, every day on a treadmill, in full Stormtrooper armor, and trying to raise as much money as I can for the two charities. And yes, there's going to be plenty of things going on at my booth. I'm really, really excited and pleased to say that I've contacted lots of companies about trying to assist me fundraising, and Official Picks and Prop Store have both replied, and Official Picks are going to let me know what they're donating, but they are donating something. Prop Store, believe it or not, are donating 2 storyboards. They're giving me a Star Wars storyboard and an Empire Strikes Back storyboard. And so I have 3 prizes to give away, and I'm going to be giving those away to people who are making a sort of minimum donation or contribution. And I'll probably set that, and the rules will be out on the day. It'll probably be something like minimum of £10 donation, and then you're in the prize draw. And I'll draw a prize on the Saturday, I'll draw a prize on the Sunday, and draw a prize on the Monday. And someone's going to win a Prop Store storyboard, which is incredible because they're all selling for like £300 or so. So they're 3 really generous prizes which I've got. I've set myself a target of £3,400, or it was around about that, because I wanted to, if I can get over £75,000 in total, that'd be brilliant. And a couple of nights ago, I had quite an exciting, for me as a massive nerd, email. When I was at Orlando, the Star Wars show came up to me on the Saturday and said, oh, we want to do some recording with you. And they did a little recording session. They've already emailed me to say, we want to do 2 sessions with you. We want to do one recording with you on Friday morning, first thing, about 9:30, and then on Saturday around about 5:30. So the Star Wars show are going to be at my booth doing some recordings, if anyone wants to be there at the same time. And maybe they might even be able to assist me with the prize draw from Prop Store or Official Picks, which will be also super cool. One final thing that I've done, because it's on my home turf, that means I'm able to fill my car and get a load of stuff there. So I'm going to have a big sort of TV screen at my booth, and I'm working my socks off at the moment, trying to sort of put together all the images and all the videos and everything over the year in a sort of chronological order, in a self-advancing sort of PowerPoint slidey type thing, showing all these amazing things which we've been doing all together in this journey, at Pinewood Studios and Lucasfilm and various other races and running events. And it's been quite nice for me having a bit of a trip down memory lane. And just looking forward to having the support, having some stuff there, just people coming along. And, I'll have a mannequin there with all the running medals. I'll have the Guinness World Record there. I'll have the signs from Lucasfilm and Pinewood. onwards. Yeah, just a fan booth with a Star Wars fan who just wants to have a bit of fun, give a bit of cheer, and raise as much as I can for Spread a Smile and Make a Wish. I've invited the charities to come along, and so I might have a couple of reps from Spread a Smile and Make a Wish there as well, which will be brilliant to help convey the important message of why I'm doing this. But yeah, it's going to be a bit brutal, really. 100 kilometres that weekend, but it's all going to be good for a good cause.
Brilliant, mate.
Amazing, just to hear all that. Very proud of you, mate.
I will make an absentee donation.
Thank you very much. It's really appreciated, because I know that, all my friends have supported me so much over the last few years. You all have, everyone has, Mark has, Grant, everyone has been sort of chipping in and helping and supporting, and I promise this is the last year. I just wanted to do this because this was, the first proper celebration. I know in 2016 I just done it, but so much has happened over the last 7 years. I just felt that this was an ideal way to sort of close it off. But the support which I'm getting from the Star Wars community and some of the industry bits and pieces is just lovely. It's just really, really nice. It's so that's why I've been quite busy at the moment, because the whole trying to make sure that we can sort out this electronic payment system so it's just rapid, but right into companies. Some companies standard won't reply, but to get a reply from Prop Store saying we'd love to help, and Official Pick saying absolutely, I'm so grateful, really, really am.
Brilliant. So as soon as we know the booth number and stuff, that will go onto our social medias. So do come along and give Jez your support. And he loves a little whoop, like a little whoop whoop.
Absolutely.
And I'll definitely be inventing some chants for you to get involved in while he's running.
The only other thing I'd recommend to people check out, because they do bring a lot. I mean, the cosplayers bring a lot to these events, and I think the cosplay competition being in this country will be the opportunity for people to maybe do slightly more elaborate things that they've not been able to do and ship over to America. So I think that's going to be great for the UK cosplay community. But the droid builders are always worth checking out. They'll walk the floor with their droids, but there'll be a special area, and you can go and check out the droids. And if you've never been to a celebration, that's great photo opportunities, and the work those guys put into those things, just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely, completely concur with that. There's one other thing I'd say in addition. We never ever talk about this, but you can volunteer to be. I know some people might say, "Oh, why would I do that if I've just bought a ticket?" And I think there might be some sort of reimbursement thing, but it could be that if you're thinking, "Oh, right, in 4 days I've seen everything I want to see, I've seen all the panels," then you could always volunteer to be, helper, staff, or whatever it is they call it. I know, keep an eye on the website and they'll announce that soon enough. But it is one of those things where there are a lot of volunteers who help out there as well. So thanks to those people in advance. It's not something I've done yet because I've always found I've been so busy doing other things. But maybe at one celebration I might end up doing a little bit of volunteering, because you never know. If your luck's in, they might say, "Oh right, yeah, can you volunteer and help out with this particular person?" And I don't know, it could be a good thing. Shout out to the volunteers.
So bring your good times and your laughter too. We gon' celebrate and party with you. Come on now. Celebration. Let's all celebrate and have a good time. Yeah, yeah. Celebration. We gon' celebrate and have a good time.
That is our guide. That is what we recommend. We've highlighted many things this evening. Has it heightened your excitement?
Yeah, tuned it up a little bit for a few of the things. Made me a little bit envious, a little bit sad, because I'm going to miss a few of these outstanding panels. But yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
You are even more excited now, Pete?
Yeah, I think there's so much just going through it and looking at it. There's just so much going on in the days. The evenings, I think, they're the bits, Jez, you can't video and watch them 2 weeks later, can you? You can do that with all the panels, but the evenings you're going to be there, so they'll be the fun part of it. And I just think it's, so we said it in the start, it's just going into this open-minded and not panicking. You just, whatever you end up doing, wherever you are, you can you can't do it all, whatever. So just enjoy it. It's a fun few days.
Indeed, it's going to be good fun. So we will post out as much as we can in the build up to the event. Make sure you're following us on We're Generation Skywalker on Facebook. You've also got our other Facebook page over there. Our Instagrams, just search for Generation Skywalker, and then there's links to the vintage and modern. And of course, go and check out the likes of TikTok and YouTube. Just search for Generation Skywalker there. But I suppose Facebook will probably be where we put most of the announcements out coming out there, and we will try to do some live bits and pieces whilst we're there and get them bits and pieces out. But if we get too carried away, you'll just have to watch out afterwards. We will do our best to put out a bit of social media over the weekend. But boys, looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you all more than anything. Spending a bit of time with you all and having a beer and a snuggle and pillow fights. And I know Jez is really into doing land Winter Olympics at the moment, where you pretend to do different Olympic sports in the Winter Olympics. He was showing me how to do speed skating the other day on the spot, which was quite good fun. So we will be getting involved in things like that. If you see us around, perhaps come and join us in our events. But it is for this show. Goodbye from Dan.
Goodbye. Have a good time, lads. I'm very envious.
Goodbye from Pete.
Goodbye. Cheers.
It is goodbye from Craig.
See you at the XL.
And it's goodbye from Jez.
See you at the booth, at the XL, and at the beer party as well.
And it is good night from me. We're Generation Skywalker. All eras, all passions, all Star Wars.